Coming up on Mountain News at 6, a house fire kills a 7-year-old child early this morning. We'll hear from emergency workers who are at the scene. And temperatures are expected to plunge tonight. We'll share a few tips on how to stay warm and safe.
Very cold air continues in the mountains tonight, but we have some much better news as we head into the weekend and early next week. I'll have those details coming up right now at 6.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
An early morning house fire in Wolfe County killed a 7-year-old child and sent his father to the hospital. WYMT's Chas Jenkins spoke with police about the ongoing investigation.
A deadly house fire early Friday morning, seeing 3 fire departments arriving on scene.
Everybody in the residence was able to get out safely, except for one person that was said to be in the residence.
A 7-year-old child whose father tried rescuing them during the fire.
A male was injured here at the residence while trying to rescue one person left inside. He had minor injuries and was transported to the hospital by ambulance.
Police say the flames were extinguished quickly.
Considering the road conditions and all 3 of those fire departments being volunteer agencies, they done a super job on response, getting here quick and extinguishing the fire.
Officials say it is unclear what caused the fire or if foul play is suspected.
I can assure you that the State Fire Marshal's office and the arson team from Kentucky State Police are doing a thorough investigation of that.
The family's home destroyed from the inside.
The fire department and the Wolfe County Dispatch is reaching out to the Red Cross and some other local agencies, so to speak, to try to get some relief or some help for that family.
The investigation is being conducted by Kentucky State Police, Post 8. In Wolfe County, Chas Jenkins, WYMT Mountain News.
Cottle says the 3 departments that arrived at the scene were Wolfe County, Hazel Green, and Van Cleve. The child's name has still not been released. Laurel County deputies need your help finding a robbery suspect. They sent us these pictures. Deputies say this person robbed the vape shop on US 25 south of London. It happened around 5 o'clock this morning. They say the suspect did use a weapon. If you know who this person is, you should call the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. A federal report says a natural gas pipeline explosion in eastern Kentucky in 2020 was caused by defects in the welding. It happened near a state highway in Fleming County. No one was hurt, but the blast burned 5 acres of land. Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board found 2 defective welding spots on the pipe at the site of the explosion. The blast followed a 2019 deadly gas line explosion in Lincoln County. Both lines are owned by Enbridge, a Canadian energy company.
Still a cold one around the mountains this afternoon as afternoon turns into evening, and we are still seeing some spots where the roads are a little on the dicey side, even as we've seen a little bit of melting today. US 119 up Pine Mountain. We've been seeing some slow going. We even saw a plow move through not too long ago on this camera. Most of the wintry precipitation has accumulated on the side of the roads, but we still have some of those wet roads up that way. Out front here, WYMT, well, we're just overcast. Things actually drying out very slowly, but it's cold out there. Mid and upper 20s already around the region. Few low 30s out there. Middlesboro still at 31, Jacksboro at 32. But the 20s are here to stay and eventually into the teens later on tonight. Still watching the potential for a few flurries as you head up towards, let's say, the I-64 corridor east of 75 right now. We're going to have to watch that as we head through the evening hours. It could cause some isolated slick spots on the roads, but those flurries will eventually come to an end, and we'll settle back to mostly cloudy skies with temperatures in the upper teens tonight. I'll have the latest on when some warmer weather looks to return to the mountains coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Folks in Johnson County and surrounding areas did experience some power outages this morning due to ice accumulations on power lines, but everyone agrees it could have been a whole lot worse. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from the Big Sandy Rural Electric Cooperative.
Last night, around 1/10 of an inch of ice or less in most areas accumulated across the region, but up to 1/4 of an inch was forecasted. In the Big Sandy Rural Electric Cooperative Service area, this smaller amount left around 1,300 without power, but it could have been much worse.
If we would have gotten that, it could have been devastating to us. Last year in 2021, we got about 1/2 an inch, and it was total destruction.
Last year, nearly 10,000 were without power for more than a week after a 1/2 inch of ice accumulation rocked the region.
Freezing rain and the ice, it just collects on power lines and adds a tremendous amount of weight onto those lines, and the pressure can pull them, break them, pull down poles, break poles.
But through both major outages, linemen worked diligently to restore power, and in some areas without truck access to damaged lines.
They have to get the poles up the hill the best they can a lot of times, and it's snow and rain, sleet, so it's terrible conditions a lot of times that they have to work in through the night.
But officials as well as linemen suggest calling on the professionals and staying away from down lines.
Always think of any down line as a live line. Always stay away. Call us if you see a line down and just stay away from it.
Staying safe and keeping the lights on. In Paintsville, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Wiley says if you are a member of Big Sandy RECC and you need to report an outage, you can call the office, visit their website, or text outage to 55050. A 200-year-old tree fell on a house in Lexington last night. The homeowners were getting ready for bed when they heard a loud crash. The tree landed on their garage, which was serving as an apartment for someone renting the space. The person renting was inside when the tree fell, and firefighters needed to help her escape through a window. She was not hurt, but homeowner Stephanie Holscher feared the tree could have caused more damage.
We live in a close-knit neighborhood, a lot of houses really close together, and just the thought of how many different ways this tree could have come down on our house, on our neighbor with her baby, more on the tenant's house, is really kind of a terrifying thought.
The homeowners say that they have called out for some help to try and get this tree chopped up so they can get inside and take a look at all the damage. They also contacted an insurance adjuster to try and talk about their next steps. With bitter cold temperatures settling into the mountains this evening, you might be looking for some added heating sources around the house. WYMT's Zach Hawk shares with us the do's and don'ts from firefighters who see mistakes made all too often.
It is cold and heating is expensive this winter. So as you look for alternate heat sources, follow a few simple tips.
Before you plug it in, to make sure that your cord is not frail, it's not destroyed in any way.
And do not forget about the other people running around the house.
Always keep your children and your pets away from any type of space heater at all times.
Firefighters say the risk is not always about losing your home, but losing consciousness too.
If you're using kerosene heaters, make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector, and also, which is more important, is a smoke detector. You need to have those in your home.
Health officials agree.
Make sure if you're using kerosene or another type of alternative heat source, you have adequate ventilation.
Even if using the traditional approach for heat, some preparation is required.
Make sure that your chimneys are cleaned. That creosote buildup is a huge concern if you're heating with wood or coal.
If you are in the London area and need a smoke detector, give the fire department a call.
If you live in the city, we'll come install your smoke detector for free. There's a partnership that we have with the American Red Cross.
Finally, firefighters say try to avoid using extension cords to hook up your heaters. In London, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
Additionally, Lieutenant King of the fire department says not to use your oven as a heat source. We have more local weather coverage and the latest closings on the WYMT News app. If you've not downloaded the app, just take a scan of the code on your screen there with your phone. That will take you to a link to our news app that you can download. You can always find the latest closings along with breaking news alerts there, and we encourage you to download both the WYMT News and weather apps. The positivity rate continues to decline in the Commonwealth. The state added more than 8,000 new cases of COVID today, bringing the state total to more than 1,190,000. There were 37 new deaths reported today, though, bringing the death toll now to 13,063, as the death toll in the U.S. jumped above 900,000 today. The positivity rate in Kentucky is now down to more than 24%. A couple of months ago, we reported on how many Pulaski County neighbors are upset about a proposal to build a new cell tower. It's not far from their houses, and it's in a zone without regulations. Well, there is an update today. The tower has been approved by the Public Service Commission, and 600 feet from the first one, a new one will be built. Governor Andy Beshear announced nearly $1 million in grants to clean up illegal open dumps. Those grants will be spread out among 18 different counties. It will help clean up 80 illegal dumps across the Commonwealth. Several of those are in our area in Estill, Harlan, Jackson, Johnson, Lawrence, Martin, Pike, and Wolfe counties. As part of the grant funding, each county must agree to provide a 25% match of the grant amount.
And cold air sticks around to start the weekend, but we do have some changes on the way, some good ones. I'll have the details on the way.
And we'll talk to public health leaders on the warning signs to look out for if you find yourself outside during these frigid temperatures.